good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman for this Sunday, August 8th, 2021. And we are on episode number 4, where we talk the sport of boxing, and we allow call-ins now for people to interact with Stormy and Stormy to interact with people as we discuss the sport in detail, give our views, our points, breakdowns, questions, answers, so forth and so on for the sport of boxing. The show has been pretty successful as far as having people tune in, as far as having people call in, and we hope to keep that ball rolling. I really appreciate all of the support. We are zooming onward and upward with what we're doing here on the Stormybman channel. And I give a round of applause to every one of you who have subscribed to the channel, who have joined the channel, who have supported the channel with super chats and donations, purchasing merchandise. And we hope to continue to bring you quality content that you desire. And the only way to get through all of that is together, working together. So I want to say good morning to everybody. I see we have a few people out there in the chat already. So we're going to get started and acknowledge what I can see so far. I saw that Loco Sports was one of the first out there to say salute this morning. Brother was up and early this morning and giving his take on what went down last night. Didn't get a chance to really look at it because I was getting myself ready. You know, you had to do all of that, get the sleep out your eye and brush your teeth and all of that, wash it behind, you know, so that's what it's all about. I will start out with a little bit of the roll call for who's in here. And please write in the chat so Stormy know that you're out there. Even if you're just saying good morning, that's fine. You know, and I know that there's some people that may not be able to write in the chat that want to because there's a limitation. But don't worry, stick around and you will be invited in as well. Dwayne Jones is out there saying, bless up from Atlanta. Macadus Mac of the South says, salute my brother. Stormy B Man, salute to you. Mr. Pazor is out there, says, salute. Excited. I hope Copper Aborigines calls in. Hey, man, this ain't the Copper Aborigines show, man. This is, you know, anyway. Anyway, welcome. MPWTF is out there, says, salute Sensei in the chat. Mr. Pazor was asking Stormy, how did you get the nickname Stormy B Man? Hey, that's an interesting question, and I'll answer that question as soon as I get, where should I get? Maybe if I get over 2,300 subs, I'll tell that story. It's a story worth telling, but, you know, not at this time. So you have to remind me, and then we have to keep that sub count going so you guys can get that information. That's right. Brooklyn Born is out there, says salute. Terry Smoot Jr. is out there, says justice for Michael Fox. Sheldon Holmes is joining us saying good morning, Stormy in chat. Good morning to you, brother. DP Rocker is out there saluting with the crown. And I Am Trill Will is out there. It says salute, Stormy B Man. Salute to you, I Am Trill Will. I Am Trill Will is working on getting a new channel up and going, please. So everyone, please go and subscribe to I Am Trill Will. Will, you're free to put that link in the chat for your channel, your new channel. And everyone who was already subscribed to Trill Will, I'm sorry, you need to go back out there and do it all over again because we got to get this brother back on point for his channel and his content that he creates out there. So the Village Brothers out there says salute. Salute to you. Joe the Beast is out there saying salute. Slide Encounter is back. Says salute Stormy in chat. And Dr. Dr. Professor, I'm tongue-tied this morning, is out there saying salute Stormy B, man. And DP Rocker is saluting Trail Will. So yeah, man, we are a community, and a community has voices, but when you're in unison, it becomes one voice. That's why when we say things like go and support a brother like I am Trail Will, we are networking. We work together. Teamwork gets us there. We have to do that. And we know that the powers that be sometimes puts roadblocks in front of us. But when we were working together, those roadblocks only become stumbling stepstones for us to get to another level. So know that, do that, work it. You know what I'm saying? So got to say that. Mark Booker is out there, says salute my shy brother. Salute to you, Mark Booker. Mark says that he knows my mentor, Eddie Davis. So Eddie don't show up here in the chats, Mark. So we got to get him on here so people know that he's not a mystery. He's not a fantasy or something like that. My mentor is real, and I always give him credit, man. I really do, because he helped me in ways that he doesn't even realize that he's continuing to help me. But I always pay homage to those who deserve that. So, yeah, we are here this morning, man. Let me tell you, coming off of an evening like last night and yesterday afternoon where we had matches that, I'm not happy. You know what I mean? I'm not happy. I love the sport of boxing, but I don't love the fact that the sport don't love us back. You know what I mean? And when you say something like that, that's not a riddle. It's a fact. The sport of boxing does terrible damage to its fan base when it doesn't give us not only what we crave and demand, which is quality, the best fighting the best, real decisions with judges and scorecards and things of that nature. We want that. You know what I mean? But the corruption that is at the root of the sport, it's at the base, it's deeply embedded, because this sport was built on bloodshed. And there's no way of getting around that. And it wasn't the people who put it together. It wasn't their blood. So when you understand how that dynamic works, then you understand why they do what they do. But at the same time, because it's sporting enterprise, right? Like other major sports, then you have to hold people to task. And then you have to begin to exercise your economic power. And also in today's time of social media, exercise that email thing. It can work as long as you're willing to do that. Let's see who else we got. MP says, Trail Will, send that link. Yeah, put that link in the chat there, Trail Will, if you're still out there. I know you be darting in and out because you got some stuff going on this Sunday morning as well. But please put your link in there. It's okay. Stormy says it's okay. It's okay to do so. DP Rocker says, Stormy B, man, when is the movie and book coming out, bro? Which movie and book is that, man? You have to tell me what you're talking about. I might be the sensei, but I don't know it all. So you got to tell me what you're talking about when you say when is the movie and the book coming, or the book and the movie, because I think they put the books out first, right, before movies. So tell me what's up with that. My man JC, channel member, is out there. He's saying family to you. Slide Encounter is out there and says, I'm glad Brian Kenny spoke up last night for Fox as a commentator. Horrible decision. You know what? I don't put no stock in Brian Kenny, man. He's a part of the machine that helps perpetuate what's wrong in the sport. So if it's coming out of his mouth, please think first, okay? Because when those guys are on television, they play the fan base and the viewing audience like good cop, bad cop, okay? And they still get you to commit to something that you may not necessarily want it to commit to. And so therefore we call it the good cop, bad cop situation. And when they get you there, you know what they say? They grin and they laugh at you and they say, you know you done fucked up, don't you? You know that, right? You know you done fucked up. Yeah, that's what they do to you. Oh, let's see. I see that comment. Hold on, Will. Okay, Trey Will, I just rinsed you up. I didn't realize I hadn't rinsed you. You know, I'm reading the chat, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. But you're rinsed up now, Trey Will. I got you on that. Salute to my man Drew Titan out there. He says, Sensei, what's going on? That's the truth right there. Everybody knows who the truth is, and if you don't, get out of here. Okay? That's what I'm saying. As simple as that. But the truth is out there. If you haven't subscribed to the brother, you better subscribe. You late for the train. You understand? You're late. So, you know, and sometimes when you miss the train, that's it. You don't know if that's the last one for the day or not. So just know, you know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that, Trill, but we got you now, man. MP is out there saluting. Let's see. Yeah, so as I was saying about people like Brian Kenny, Chris Mannix, and all those guys, man, listen. You'd be better off having a conversation with a dog that run on 4 feet. You understand? Than to hear anything that come out of their mouth talking about the sport of boxing, whether it's in the positive or the negative. And yes, I did say that because there's far more that they could have done way beyond now. Just look at the fact that what took place between Wilder and Fury in their rematch and how nobody discussed it, right? Nobody touched on there was an arbitration going on. In the meantime, while all those lies was going about and people were talking about other matches were going to be made and other people were going to face one another and all of that. And I'm not trying to take the show in that direction, but I'm just giving you a plain, blatant example of why you shouldn't listen to those guys. Oh, now he want to speak and use somewhat of a voice of an opinion, but he remained silent when he should have been speaking most. Huh? Go sit your butt down somewhere. That's what I got to say about that. So, but yeah, man, listen, we do have to talk about it. Talked about it last night on the post-fight show, and we won't take up the whole show today talking about it, but we will discuss what we did run across last night, and it should be talked about. And as I spoke last night, and I indicated that anyone who's out there as a content creator should do their part in this, right? Talking about that card that Will, that's great, man. You're all good. Do their part to have a voice, because we have platforms now. We don't have to wait on Chris Mannix and guys like Brian Kenny anymore, and Max Kellerman and all of those fools. We don't have to do that. We can do it right here where we get down to the nitty and the gritty. And guess what? We could have the participants be with us. Like somebody need to be reaching out. And I'm putting this out in the universe to get a hold of Mr. Fox and bring him on their platform and let him express himself so that the fan base can know exactly how someone who is done in this improper way, how they feel about it, what their feelings are about it, and what a potential future move might indicate, where they want to go with it. See, we have brothers out there, Drew Titan, we had Loco Sports, we have Blue Blood Sports TV, we have a whole network, 78 Sports TV, men who get people and personalities on their platforms where they can express and talk directly to the fan base. You don't have to deal with those guys when you know they have an angled point of view and opinion, especially when they want to leave some of our fighters off of pound for pound lists and things of that nature, just to put other people who are underachievers and people who are not even progressing as well as the ones that they're leaving off of their list. And they want us to think that that's what's important. They still haven't put anything out there about Sergey Kovalev and his criminal background and what he's done to women. They don't talk about that. So this is why I say what I say. I say it with a firm foundation to stand upon. There's history. I just don't talk about that stuff all the time because there's enough brothers out there that's doing that. But it don't mean I'm unaware, that I'm in the dark about it. So when I say what I say, believe me, there's a basis for which I like to, stand upon with my facts. You know what I mean? So MP says, yeah, exposure of the BS. That's right. Mr. Pazzo say, I missed the Mastre Fox fight. Listen, man, go back and watch that fight. Watch it all the way up into the decision. That's all you need to know. Do your part. Be informed. See, that's the thing. In this time where we can record, watch something at a later time, or when it's uploaded by someone else or whatever, go and watch for yourself. So you will have an opinion. Don't just listen to what someone on these channels says, like myself or whatever. Go watch it for yourself. See, it's just like they do things in front of your face, right? George Floyd, did they not do that in front of our face? And how did the community really respond? How they should have responded and how they did respond, two different things. But what I'm saying is, it's all throughout the DNA of this nation, what they do. Cheating. And we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about it, man. Trying to Okay, I was just trying to get this image put up on the screen. MP says cheating is only caught when you're not part of the agenda. Sometimes. Mansa Musa Lifestyle says, salute Stormy B-Man, salute to you. D Hodges is out there, says, what up Stormy in chat, LDBC, salute. Everyone, salute to you. Dave the Real Thomas is out there and says salute as well. Smash that like button as you come in, people. Smash the like button. But yeah, this card last night, man, I was looking forward to it because headlining the card in the main event was Imantas Stanionis and Luis Collazo. Now, anybody that's been following my channel and listening to Stormy B-Man over the past 8, 9 months, 10 months, I've been talking about Imantas Stanionis, and I talk about the young man because I see something in him, and this is not the Mikey Garcia type of I see something, It's an assessment of what he brings to the ring when he fights. That is something out of I see it out of the old ilk of boxers. Sure, there are plenty of guys who are more athletic, guys who have quicker foot and quicker hand speed and things of that nature. But this young man has a little bit of something that my assessment of it is he's a tough customer, but he's good as well. And see, being tough and being good is two different things, but I think he's both. Now, should he be rated over some of the other names that are a little bit prominent right now? No, I don't think so. But last night was another opportunity against a veteran opponent that would give him the opportunity to see exactly what he would bring to the ring. And Luis Collazo is nobody's cannon fodder, huh? Collazo was the type of fighter that when you got in there with him, it was a fight for 12 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever the fight length was based. And as we saw a few years ago when he fought Keith Thurman, he was the one that initially exposed that Keith Thurman don't really take to body punches kindly. But Collazo has always been a tough customer, right? And I knew that when they put Stanionis in there with him last night, we were going to see something that either told us that Stanionis, and my assessment of what I see in him is legitimate and on the upcome, or that maybe he's not necessarily quite ready. Now, Collazo elected to fight the guy. I'm going to say this. He had no recourse. There was no other. He wasn't going to be able to outbox him. He wasn't going to be able to move around and stick and use the jab. This guy cuts the ring off. He's like the Ivan Drago of the welterweight division. Yeah, that's Stormy's assessment of him. And he can fight. And he's strong as a bull, as an ox. Huh? He doesn't take a step back. And Collazo found himself in a situation last night. Even going into the fight, he had indicated this might be his okay, I was reading comments in the chat. He had indicated this might be his last fight. Okay. Now, when fighters start talking about this might be their last fight or whatever, that's one foot out the door, and they, typically perform like that. Collazo didn't even have time to think last night before Stanionis was on top of him, and he had to fight for his dignity. Not just his life, but his dignity. His wife was sitting out there in the audience and everything, and he knew that he had to show up here. Now, the fight only went, 4 rounds? Because due to a head clash, the fight was stopped when he said he couldn't go on and everything. But that was best for him because Stanionis was about to beat this man to death in the ring. And that's not disrespecting Collazo, who's 40 years old. That's just saying that that's the type of young fighter this is. When this fight ended, if you looked at Luis Collazo's face, he looked like he had been 10 rounds already. And this was only the 3rd round going into the 4th. Okay? Ivan Drago. Yes, sir. And he was smiling after every round. Even though Collazo was trying to stand in and fight him on the inside and punch back with him and everything, he was getting hit so clean that it was going to be just a couple more rounds and it would have been it for him anyway. So I'm glad that we didn't get to see him go out like that, and that for the saving of face that he went out in a manner of which he was given an outlet. But Stanionis is one guy to watch for. And I'm issuing a challenge that the Garcia camp, put your boy Victor Ortiz in there with this young man and see what happens. Huh? Yeah, I said it. Put Victor Ortiz in there with this man, and let's see what happens. I guarantee you, you will be highly entertained. Yes, that's the way I see that, man. And you know, and there's nothing wrong with competitive matches, man. You can put your guy in against guys who's supposed to fall down all day long, man. That ain't nothing. Put your guy in there against somebody who gonna challenge him, huh? Bag him up a little bit. Maybe put him on the seat of his pants. Bust him up. Let's see what he got, huh? Yeah. That's what I'm calling for. And speaking of calling, man, let's get to the call-ins, because I know that you guys want to talk today, and I'm going to open it up a little bit earlier. You know, I ain't going to talk your ear off for over an hour and then open it up. I'm going to open up a little early and allow people to voice what they thought about last night's matches, man, and particularly the Michael Fox and Gabriel Maestro fight. What was that all about, man? It's like, you know, are we fools? Huh? Remember, Bob Arum once said that, you know, boxing fans are like rocks. You can kick them in any direction that you want. Let's not make him right on this, okay? Let's not make him right. Salute to Blue Blood Sports TV out there. He says, Virgil Ortiz Jr. Salute at Stormy B Man. Salute, OG. Yeah, Virgil Ortiz, man. I'm sorry if I misspoke, but I was talking so fast. But yeah, that's who I want to see Stanionis in there. Just put him in there with Virgil Ortiz. Put him in there. Let's see what happens. Huh? And salute to Blue Blood out there. Good to see you, Blue Blood. And Mr. Carrillo, I see you out there. He says, salute Stormy, let's go. Sylvester is out there. And, oh, there was someone else that I saw. Mark Booker says, yes, sir, champ. We got to get that great Eddie Davis on a true hashtag legend, original Windy City Gym legend. Yeah, legendary trainer, sparred the great, underrated former world champion Eddie Perkins. Yes, sir. That's my mentor we talking about there, Eddie Davis. Let's see. But I'm opening it up now. So if you guys want to go ahead and start calling into the show, and let's talk. I'm opening it up early so we can have more people, can have more voices and comments. So let's do that. Participate. You know, don't just be sitting out there with your head down in the back of the class trying to catch some Z's, because Stormy will throw you right up out of here. You know, you're just sitting up there. You got to participate in Stormy's class, huh? Or it's F+. That's right. Boli saying, I'm encouraged by seeing a consensus, at least, concerning the Michael Fox decision. People were trying to make Charlo Castano the baseline of boxing robberies. No, man. It's just that when it happens on a scale like that with Charlo and Castano, because of their names in the sport and what that was for an undisputed situation. It's easy to talk about robbery, okay? Which is why I'm trying to encourage people to stop misusing terms when you're describing what you've seen, huh? When you see somebody brush past someone and kind of like bump them and keep on going, that could be an act of, hold on one second, we got a call coming in. Who we got? Let's see. Hold patiently, caller. Stormy got to see who this is. Okay, go ahead. 678. Who do we have? That person hung up. 678. sorry, I didn't. We got caller. You're gonna have to hang up and call back because I can't hear you, and it's not like it's not connected. Okay, 678. Go ahead.
Hey, what's happening, Stormy B? What's going on? This pool counter boxing. What's happening?
Hey, Pool Counter. Good to hear from you, man. How you doing this morning? Welcome to the show.
Oh yeah, pretty good. You know, I was just watching you last night. I mean, I'm just as surprised as you are about the whole Michael Fox ordeal.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. So, you know, I did my video. I did my video last night. I watched it, and the fight was so one-sided, bro. I mean, I took a break to get ready for the main event, and I watched the fight right up until they were about to announce the winner. So I went ahead and made my a quick video or whatever, and I couldn't find out he got robbed. You know, man. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the? So I had to go back and do a follow-up video like you suggested. And I just couldn't believe that, that man didn't win. I don't think he won a round, tell you the truth.
Well, let me stop you right there. And I want to compliment you and commend you for something. You said that on my recommendation that you went back and made a follow-up video on it. Salute to you for that, brother. Salute to you for that. And I'll say this real quickly and I'll let you continue. That was my point last night, for us to get on the proper track and start holding these people accountable, because the more that we do that, let's not get into the political aspect of things where we banter against one another with our opinions and this and that. It was absolutely evident what took place last night. So when you come back and you make a follow-up video based on what really actually happened and everything, you're doing your part, which is why my post-fight show last night went from being what it normally is to really zeroing in on the injustice that took place twice in that match for Michael Fox, man. And this is how we can build towards something very strongly and powerful when you do that. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, I just couldn't believe that something like that. I mean, I've been around and I've seen bad decisions and stuff like that, but man, I just wasn't ready for it, and I just thought it was a foregone conclusion that Mike Fox, he had dominated so by such a wide margin that it couldn't possibly take it away from him. And I was wrong. I was wrong. And then I watched the main event and the head clash, so it was just kind of like a lackluster evening, with everything that went down, Devin Alexander, not looking, he's looking old, and, it was just, it was just not a good night. Not a good night for boxing for me.
Yeah.
And I thought Collazo, I thought he was game. I thought he looked good. He was taking some hard shots. Man, I wanted to see that play out, but I believe Stannis would have knocked him out eventually because he was wearing down. He was getting lumped up, but he did a smart veteran move by making it a no contest, and that just comes from experience,
Yep,
absolutely. And I was like, wow, he is really smart. You got to be fast thinking on your feet, and been around for a while to make them kind of moves. He saved himself a loss. And, I don't know what the rules are, how you get paid or whatever. But I was like, wow.
Well, if they would have gone,
this guy hit.
If they would have gone beyond 4 rounds, it couldn't be a no contest. It would have had to be some type of a decision one way or the other based on why they would be stopping. So he was smart enough to catch it before the end of that 4th round. But also he knew, meaning Collazo, he knew what was coming.
Right.
And his veteran experience pulled him out of there. See, boxing and ring IQ means a great deal. Some guys would have tried to fight on brave and went out on a shield and a stretcher. Collazo knew his wife was sitting out there in the crowd, and he didn't come there on this night to go out like that. So he found a place. But I'm telling you, I've said it before. When you hear me saying it here live on this show today, that kid Stanionis is for real. But he's something different. He's not like let's use Jaron Ennis, which people think he's the future, right? He's not of that ilk. He's not. He's one of those guys like a Jake LaMotta type dude, okay? Yeah. He has a lot going for him, and you're going to have to outslick him and outsmart him and outbox him and everything to beat him. But how many guys are going to be able to do that and keep that stamina for 12 rounds? You don't have a lot of guys in the sport today who condition themselves that way or who fight with that type of championship spirit. I talk about it all the time. And when you don't have that, he's going to look even better and look even more ferocious because there's no one that's going to be able to match that physicality. Now, yes, skills and being fast hands and feet and all that. Yeah, but that guy, look at Luis Collazo's face. We're talking about 4 rounds. Yeah,
I was looking at that.
That kid that he fought a couple of fights back, Deloach, he was a good fighter. Yeah. And Deloach was. Deloach, he was boxing him, right? He was boxing him. He was sticking and moving and this and that. And then he realized, I can't move like this for 12 rounds. So he started trying to fight the guy. And when he started trying to fight the guy, that's when he really got broken down and beaten up badly.
Whoever fights Costanza's going to have some serious power and can crack.
Not just power. Listen.
No, not just power. I'm just.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Not just power. Not just power, but I'm saying like a Jerron Bruce Ennis, who can crack and move and got skills, to get out the way. And, somebody slick like that, I believe would probably beat Castonius. What do you think?
I think that Boli been drinking out there in the chat. He says Stanionis is kind of like Lamont Peterson. Man, if you don't get out of here with that crap. Did you just hear me mention Jake LaMotta? Do you think Lamont Peterson is anything like Jake LaMotta? F+ for Boli, man. Get to the back of the class. What are you talking about?
No, Jake LaMotta was a bull, man. He could take a punch. He had a lot of endurance. And, you had to, really whack him. He was going to always come forward. He was a pressure fighter. And, he could take a lot of punishment. So, he's going to come through your punches. This guy, Stoney, he got some good defense. He covers up pretty well. But like you said, I could see a slick boxer moving off to the side, boxing him. But, you're going to have to keep him honest, Somebody's going to have enough crack to keep him honest. I think Bruce Ennis is that kind of fighter, that got enough, fast footwork, got enough speed and enough crack on his punches to keep.
But he's going to have to have one. He's going to have one or a couple more things to go along with that to get through 12 rounds with this guy. And you know what that is?
Oh yeah,
that's
willpower.
That not willpower, grit, the toughness. Sometimes when you're better than someone else athletically, okay, it gets easy for you.
Yeah.
But then when you are asked questions that you haven't been asked before, that's when it plays in your mind like, do I really want this bad enough? That's what happened when Leonard faced Duran for the first time. You see, when Leonard, who was out there and everybody thought he was a pretty boy and smiling and getting the endorsements and beating everybody with his fast hands and fast feet and stuff like that, then he ran across Roberto Duran where he was in a real dog fight. And it could arguably be said that he won that fight. You know, it was so close. But Duran got the decision in Montreal, and people didn't know that Ray was that tough. And then a couple of years later, when he fought Tommy Hearns, the reason that he beat Hearns was probably, and Kurt Sugar and I, we talk about this a lot. One of the reasons that he beat Tommy Hearns was because of the Duran fight. He had gone through something. Remember, Tommy hadn't gone through anything. He was knocking everybody out. 32-0 with 30 knockouts, something like that when he faced Ray. So he hadn't been in that situation. And again, we never know until the guys are put in that situation. And then that's when that truth will come out about them. And it's a great thing to see with fighters. But yeah, man, you got anything else before we let the call go? Because we're going to let some other people call in.
All right, my brother. That's all I want. I just want to support the channel, and you're doing a great job, Stormy. And you know what I'm saying? I'll just get back in the chat and watch from there.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Brother. And don't be a stranger. Call in again, please.
Hey, no problem. Bye-bye.
All right, peace. Yes, sir. It's my man, Paul Counter. And he said he went back and made another video off of that fight from last night. And that's what it's all about. And that's the message I was trying to get out there last night, man. Because this corruption is just becoming ridiculous. Who in the hell would score that fight 117-110 as if, you know, Michael didn't win a round? Man, that is like ridiculous. And as I said last night, that judge that did that should never be allowed in a boxing venue again, not even to come in and be a spectator. Huh? You got to sit at home and watch it on TV. Forget you. Huh? Let's see. What else we got out there? Ancestral Rage is saying, Sensei, make him do some knuckle ups. Talking about Boli. Yeah, man, Lamont Peterson, come on, man. He ain't nothing like Jake LaMotta. I said this kid was like Jake LaMotta, and you gonna bring in Lamont Peterson, man. Are you crazy? Y'all be smoking them tweeds, as Pops would say, from Friday. That's what's wrong with you. Fry your brains up, man. Hey, you can't have that on here with me, because I'm going to tell you like it is. It's like, man, you're smoking that dope, son. PGH Big Dog says, nah, I got to see more of this standing on this before I put that on him. Well, that's because you still looking through rose-colored lenses, bro. Huh? Put some bifocals on. It'll help you see a great deal better. Huh? Ancestral Ray says, I've been high on Stanionis. I knew he would blaze to the top competition. Yeah, there are some fighters that when you see what they have, if you know what you're looking at with boxing, you can tell that, you know. And this, remember, I don't have a favorite that is like, oh, I hope this guy don't fight him. You know, that's my guy. I hope somebody beat him before he get to my guy. I don't have that. I'm not biased like that. I don't have guys that's like, okay, let that build. I'm more of the mindset of put him in now, huh? Because if you put him in now and he prevails, that's just a stronger foundation for him to stand upon. If he's successful, if you put him in and then he doesn't be successful, then you know what you need to work on. That's all. That's it. Who else we got out there? Alice York is out there, says Stanionis only had 13 fights. I think he's got a ways to go. Oh, but it's okay for Lomachenko to have 13 fights and be fighting everybody on the world stage. Huh? What's wrong with you people? Huh? Come on now. Think about it. Evander Holyfield fought Dwight Muhammad Qawi in his 12th professional fight and became cruiserweight champion. Okay? Beat the baddest man in the division in his 12th professional fight. Pernell Whitaker fought in his 14th professional fight when he fought Jose Luis Ramirez. Beat the man soundly, and they still stole a decision from him and give it to Ramirez because they wanted Ramirez to unify against Julio Cesar Chavez at that time. You know what I mean? So go back and watch some boxing history and stop just watching boxing from yesterday or the day before. What else we got here? Alice York says, what's up, Stormy? Great call-in show. Thank you for that. Bumpy Thompson is saying, salute, Sensei. Salute to you, Bumpy. And I thought Bumpy was wrenched up on the channel, man. You got you there, Bumpy. Dill Spooky is out there. Spoolie. Dill Spoolie. Man, y'all be having some names, don't you? Dwayne Jones says, I would like to see Stanionis stop dropping that right hand a bit. That makes me a little nervous. Well, what he's going to have to do is fight somebody that can make him pay for that. Remember, I'm not saying he's invincible. I didn't say that. They all have flaws, all of them. But when you fight people who can make you respect what they're capable of being successful for against you, then you know that's when you need to make the adjustments. You shouldn't just be out here cakewalking folks, huh? Because sometimes when there's, no substance to that cake, man, you might end up with a lot of flour, huh? And all that do is just be dusty all over the place. Jay Carrillo says, I don't know how to pronounce your first name there, Jay. Jay Carrillo says, this corruption is getting out of hand, Stormy. It sure is. It sure is. Mr. Pazor says, Stormy, did you manage to resolve the issue with calls from overseas? I remember Laws D. Yeah, listen, for those of you that want to call into the call-in show from outside the U.S., you have to, it's that +1 or 001. That's the U.S. code, +1 or 001, depending on where you're calling from. That's the code for being able to complete the call on the number that you see on the screen. So when you guys know how to dial from outside the U.S., if you dial a U.S. number before, the code is simple. It's +1 or 001. And then you can get on in here and talk to Stormy from where you are. Yes, sir. And thank you for reminding me of that, Mr. Pazor, because I did want to remember mentioning that on the show today. Let's see. Who else we got out there? Bumpy is saying, thanks, Stormy. No problem, bro. Alice York says, just saying, hope they give him time before they put him in a big fight too soon. Listen, that was a big fight last night. Luis Collazo is not a pushover. Huh? There are other guys who wouldn't have fought Luis Collazo. I don't think Victor Ortiz Jr. would have fought Collazo. I don't think he would have fought him. Huh? So, we'll see, though. We will see. But hey, come on. Let's get the calls going, man. Stormy is ready to talk to some people. You don't tell me y'all guys are up this early and don't even want to call in. Come on. Come on. In the meantime, I had a thought, and before the first call came in, and now I lost the train of thought because I was talking about something specifically, and that's why I was, because I hate the fact that I lost that train of thought. I was getting ready to make a very valid point, and now I don't remember what that was. Thrill Hill is out there, says, salute, Stormy. In total agreement that Ortiz should fight Stanionis. Next would be good. Yeah, but I think Ortiz got a fight coming up. If it's not next week, it's in the next couple of weeks. He's got a fight coming up. But yeah. See, the thing about the Ortiz fight, because I'm telling you, I want to see that fight because I think that Stanionis is what people think Ortiz is. Yeah, just that simple. Just that simple. And you won't see it unless they fight each other, because that's when you're gonna see that Victor ain't who they selling him to be. He ain't. And I'm sorry, that might make some people mad and, you know, make their toes be in a bunch and all of that. But hey, it is what it is, man. This is boxing, huh? It ain't ballet, huh? So yeah, Alice York said August 14th against Mean Machine. Yeah, that's true. That's when he's supposed to have that fight. And that's not going to be a very easy fight for him. He should be favored. But then again, we don't know a lot about Mean Machine. We know the fight that he had with Bud Crawford, but he might be better than people think. And if Ortiz has trouble against him, you know, there you go. Salute to, we got Boli out there in the super chat. Says this is a down payment on the future career review of Stanionis. He says, is he more Lamont or Lamata? All respect to your boxing history and knowledge. Salute to Boli, man, who has a sense of humor. I'm glad you do. I really appreciate that, bro. Thank you for your super chat and your donation to the channel, man. That's all right. I got a sense of humor too, so I don't take it as no offense. It's like, but I will remember. I shall remember. That was pretty good. He said, someone said Ortiz got COVID. Oh, man. I hope not. Dwayne Jones says, I agree. Put these contenders in there with each other and earn their spot. Yeah, man. Otherwise, they just guys waiting in line for the next belt to pick up off the ground. That's what they do, right? That's what they do. Pick up belts off the ground, man. Oh, he left. He went up to another division. Hey, you dropped this. Oh, I can have. Okay, thank you. Yeah. They don't win. There's no more legacy fights. It's like guys just become champions from vacated titles and made up new titles. Huh? They never like, man, I had to fight Roy Jones Jr. for this belt. You know what I'm saying? It's none of that. It's just like, so-and-so vacated, so I fought so-and-so for the vacant belt. And understand this, how that destroys legacy in the long run. You won vacated titles, right? But you didn't beat anybody for them. You fought another man that was probably on paper not favored to beat you anyway. And then you became a world champion. You have a few defenses of that title yourself against quality hand-picked opposition. And then when somebody tough might be on the horizon, you decide, well, I'm going to vacate and move up. And then the next guy does the same thing. But when you look back on the history of boxing, who did you beat? Well, I fought so-and-so, but they weren't in their prime no more. They was kind of on their way out. Or I fought so-and-so who was not really that much of a so-and-so because he was kind of like a gatekeeper or whatever. And everything else in between is fluff and filler. Come on, man. That's not what you want. Huh? And then when you look back historically, you'll say these guys haven't fought nobody to be the best. They didn't even fight their contemporaries. You got like 5 belts right now. When Mike Tyson was undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, it was 3. Okay? When Marvin Hagler was undisputed middleweight champion of the world, there were 2. Okay? 2 belts. So what I'm getting at is this. You had to beat the best guy to get those belts. Nowadays, you could just scoop them up. Who did AJ beat to become the person with all those belts? I'll wait. I will wait. His first title that he won was against Prince Charles Martin, who willingly sat on his butt for that $9 million payday when he went over there in the UK and got hit on the chin a couple of times and decided not to get up. But he got up and went to the dope man and got him plenty of weed and stuff. And he went online and he was smoking, he was high, and he was in front of the video camera clowning and everything, celebrating his purse. But where was championship caliber medal in him to defend that title against AJ? I walk this earth like a god is what he said in the press releases before the fight. No, you laid on the earth like a pea pod, that fell off a tree, because when AJ hit him, he went right on the canvas. And he fought someone for a vacated title. Remember when Tyson Fury and those titles got taken away and everything, that IBF title, he fought for a vacated title against another lesser person, and he beat that guy. And in his first defense, he went in there with AJ and he lost. So AJ basically picked the belt up out the garbage. Yeah, that's a fact. Don't like it? Too bad, too sad. That's what it is. Go back and check. Check the history books. PGH Big Dog. He says, I heard that Ortiz had, Mr. Pazor is laughing. Alice York says Ortiz had this before his last fight. And Jay Carrillo says he was laid out like a stone guy. There you go. Correction. I stand corrected. He's laid out like a stone god. That's right, Prince Charles Martin. But you know what? I give him credit now. He's trying to come back. He wants to get back into the mix of things. He realized his sins, and he's trying to make amends for it. There's nothing wrong with that, because we all make mistakes and everything. And he done sat back and looked and said, man, you know what? I could have actually fought better than I did. He was like, in that Kaunaki fight that he had, he went life and death with Kaunaki. He should have beat Kaunaki, but he didn't use boxing skills. He just tried to go in there and use brawn against a guy who was like the Rhino. You don't do that. You got to use your skill set, man, and be slick and smart and everything. So, again, a couple of losses under his belt now. Now Prince Charles Martin is trying to come back and put it together. But I have to tell you, he must be out of weed, because he wants to get out there and do that now. But you could have did that a long time ago. And those guys who call themselves training you and everything, they still let you come in there. Your belly is flabby, You need to work on that snapping jab, You need to be able to be sharp, in good condition, Stop putting yourself out there half-assed. Get out there and be top-notch. Jay Carrillo says, I give him that. He got some nuts. Yeah, man. But come on, callers. Nobody wants to call in, man. Talk to Stormy. You guys are just sitting out there, man, writing in the chat, hiding. Come on out into the light, man, and let me see you. Let me hear you. Come on out there. You want to tell me how good a call-in show is? How's it a good call-in show if you ain't calling in, Salute to Big Texas. Cletus Smith out there. He says, salute, Stormy B, man. Listening at work, preach. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Big Texas. Good to see you again, bro. Good to see you. What we got? But yeah, I was talking about. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got 513 in the building. Who am I speaking with? And welcome to the show.
Stormybman, what's happening? This DP Rocker, bro, checking in from Cincinnati.
Hey, man, DP, what's going on with you, brother? Welcome to the show. Good to hear you, man. What's going on?
I was trying to call in earlier, man, but I'm doing this yard work right now, man. But I had to take a moment out to holler at you, brother.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. Doing that yard work, huh?
Oh, man, boy, I'm telling you, Stormy, it ain't no joke, man. It's like 90 degrees up here in Cincinnati, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm in the confines of my basement with some AC, bro. You can have that. You can have it all.
I hear you, man. I'm jealous of you right now, brother. I'm jealous of you. Hey, Sensei, I got a question, man. This is not boxing related, though. But, they tell me you're a real diehard Kung Fu fan. And I was reading up on the fight between Bruce Lee and the guy named Wong in 1964. And I'm getting like two different stories. And they told me the best person to talk to would be Stormybman about that fight and what actually happened. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I'll elaborate a little bit, but man, this is the call-in show for boxing, man. You gotta,
I know, bro.
Yeah.
I know. I got a lot of questions about that too, man. But, it's just been racking me. Like, Stormy, they say Stormy is the guy to talk to.
Well, yeah, apparently in the early 60s there, when Bruce's wife was still pregnant with Brandon, he had a challenge match with Wong Jackman. Now, what the challenge match was over is open for conjecture because there's been tons of different stories. Like the Asian Council sent this guy to challenge Lee because Lee was over there teaching foreigners, which they called at the time the Guaylo, the Americans, the Westerners, and they didn't like that. But the fact that back then, and even now to a degree of secrecy, there are challenge matches where people fight under certain conditions. And that fight took place where Lee and Wong Jackman, they were comparing their skills. And although Lee did best him because he utilized more fluidity in what he brought to the table from a martial arts standpoint, because you have to understand Lee was practicing with Americans, Westerners who are bigger, stronger guys naturally. And he had learned some techniques from certain practitioners over here, the judo experts and grappling experts and boxing people, street fighters.
Right.
So he was able to incorporate elements of that into his competition with Wong Jackman, who was a traditional martial arts stylist. So when he and Lee began to get down to business and Lee wasn't utilizing forms and stuff like that, it was like Wong Jackman maybe, thought like, what is he doing? Do you understand? Because he didn't have that type of background. So he turned around, started running away from him and stuff like that. And Lee had to chase him down, corner him, get him on the ground and stuff like that. It was like, it wasn't like you would see in the movies, where they face off and do this and do that. It was basically a real street fight inside a YMCA that they had used in a gymnasium. And that was when Lee came away from that. He realized he needed to do more things with cardio and stuff like that because he found himself very tired from that encounter. Now, Wong Jackman, he did not win it, but he did not really lose it. It was just one of those things that, Lee bested him because Wong Jackman was going up against the unknown. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like,
yes, sir.
When you have, like, if you've had some training and different things and someone invites you to have an encounter, and you bring all of that, but they just bring one kind of traditional thing. It's just like when you saw how early in MMA and mixed martial arts fighting, the Gracies was beating everybody because of that grappling and stuff that they could do. They could do a little bit of the other stuff too, but they realized if that I get you on the ground, you're gone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So now everybody
Yep.
is using the ground game. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what that was. And we now know that you can't really hang your hat on what Linda has offered of it, her recounts of it, because she's been proven to be dishonest with a lot of information
I read
that has
that.
come, a lot of information that has come through over the last couple of months or whatever about their personal lives and everything. She's been very dishonest. And there's a lot of people who wanted to hold Bruce on a certain pedestal, but he was a human being. So he was fallible just like any one of us. But at the time that he died, just understand this, he was not a big star when he died. He became a big star post-death, and that's one of the worst things that can happen for a person as far as legacy, because now you can paint the type of image that you want rather than it just being truth and what was really actual and factual. So Lee, he had some encounters with people. He had some encounters with people who were in the US, and he didn't win all of that. But it's not people that's going to go around and tell you about it because they already know what that image of him is and this and that. But there are people who have said some things. And if it's just like recently, I think it was about 2-3 years ago, Michael Jai White was in an interview and he was like, he could whoop Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee was a smaller man and this and that. And he's like 200 pounds and Bruce Lee was 130 pounds. He's like, there's no way he can, and the whole martial arts community attacked Michael Jai White for saying that, And
I remember that.
Come back and
I remember that.
Yeah, he had to come back and retranslate. Oh, I forgot that was the God. You can't say nothing bad about him or whatever. But he was probably right. It's like, can Manny Pacquiao get in the ring and whoop Muhammad Ali? No. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you have to look at. And so, Lee was quite instrumental in martial arts as far as the skills of the martial art itself, and then also with film. He did a tremendous amount with film. So it's like, he's a pioneer, and that's pretty much it. But the Wong Jack Man thing was one of those things that, it kind of really got blown out of proportion and was really overemphasized as something that was, supposedly what led Lee to becoming so good and great and all of this. But let's just say it like this. Lee studied under Yip Man, Wing Chun in Hong Kong from the time he was like 12 some years old, like that. But when they realized that he was not full 100% Chinese, his fellow students, they told the Sifu Yip Man, they was like, hey, he's not even 100% Chinese. You can't, teach him. Now, mind you, Lee had been a childhood film star, okay? And so Yip Man didn't want to turn Lee away, but he took one of his senior pupils in Wang Shenglong and had him teaching Lee the art. But he never learned the full Wing Chun. He learned a style or two of a form or two of Wing Chun. And when he came to the U.S., when he was 18 years old, that's what he came here on. So everything else he learned, he got from Westerners that he was here, working out with men and street fighters and stuff like that. And he played himself like a master. He was a very smart, intelligent guy. He played himself like a master. They didn't know, but he wasn't a master in Wing Chun. He only learned a couple of forms of it. He actually asked Yip Man, could he film him doing the forms so he could study them, right? Because Lee was definitely that type of guy. He could look at something, study it, and then be like, I know what I'm doing now. But Yip Man refused. When Yip Man finally decided to allow someone to film him, he allowed his own son to film him because he was terminally ill with cancer, and he allowed his son to film him, and his son had the film of his dad doing all the forms and everything. And that's actually depicted in the Donnie Yen last film, the Yip Man 4. At the end of the movie, they are showing his son filming him. But it wasn't Bruce Lee, who had requested a few years earlier, and Yip Man denied that. So Yip Man was still holding tradition because Lee was not a true 100% Chinese. He had mixed blood. And Chinese take that stuff very serious, like a lot of people over here take it serious. So, but I know I rambled on a bit, but that's what I had to share with you on that.
Nah, man, I appreciated that, man. I listened, and that was, one of the things that was put out there about the whole Lee Ip Man, the Wolfman fight, because they said he broke his back, and you getting all these mixed stories. But as far as the Linda Lee situation, yeah, I did find out that she wasn't telling the truth. So, but they say you know everything about Bruce Lee, and I'm like, okay, this guy, I got to get at him. But I appreciate, man, you taking time, just breaking everything down. It gave me a little bit more clear vision now of how things went.
Yes, sir, man, and I appreciate the call. And I don't know everything about the guy, but I was like a sponge with martial arts when I was a kid growing up, even more so than boxing. Boxing came a little later in my years for me than it did for Scrapbook and Kurt, but we were all the same age.
Right.
And just like they were absorbing boxing like that then, I was absorbing everything about martial arts back then, and kung fu films as well. So that's why I'm versed in it and I could talk about that stuff. But notice I use certain ways of expressing because I don't want to come off as disrespectful, but I'm being honest about people who were not necessarily being honest. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
I appreciate you taking my call, man.
Thank you for calling, man, and call in again, man. Take care, and don't burn yourself out in that heat. Don't burn yourself out in that heat, brother. All right.
All right, Stormy. Take it easy.
All right, peace. That's another great call there. Salute to my man, Big Dog Willie, out there in that super chat. He says Steven Seagal beats Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't really care. It's like, Steven Seagal, I know one thing he can't beat. He can't beat that receding hairline, but they put that wig on there to make it look like he got a real hairline. Let me tell you something. Go back and watch Steven Seagal's first movie, Above the Law, and you'll see that he had that little space up in here where it was going back like that. Then all of a sudden his hairline is straight across like this. Come on, man. Wigs, bro. Salute to Big Dog Willie in that super chat, man. Appreciate your donation, man. Appreciate that. But yeah, this is where we are, man. Stormy B, man, don't mind talking about this stuff, man. But yeah. But hey, man, Steven, just shave it off, bro. That's what people do nowadays. Had the ponytail. Even Keith Thurman finally shaved it off. So you gotta, you gotta shave it off, man. That's all, huh? And that big old beer belly, I don't think he beating anybody too tough nowadays. DP Rocker is laughing in Boli Boli too. He says Above the Law was my stuff there. Yeah, man. Yeah, back in the day, I'm telling you, movies can make you look great, right? Huh? They can edit stuff and use camera tricks and angles and stuff like that, man, they'll make you look like you was just, the outlaw. Yes, sir. Bowley says Steven Seagal was good for wearing that hat. Continue. Who farted face? Yeah, I remember someone, this was back when I was on Facebook. They put this meme up of Steven Seagal faces and expressions, right? And it was like happy, mad, sad, inspirational, perplexed, all this. And it was the same face expression for everything. When I saw that, I was like, yep, that's him. And that's his acting, too. They was like, Steven, be angry. One look. Steven, be happy. Same look. Steven, look sad. Same look. It's like that was the way it was, man. That was the way it was. DP says, it seems like Seagal never got hit in his movies. No, he didn't, right? It's like, now that's the star doing the choreography. How you gonna be out there fighting all these dudes? It's like you're beating them up and everything, and somebody touch your shoulder, you be like, just get out of here, man. I'm telling you, that stuff is fake, man. Totally fake. Bowley's laughing. Mr. Pazzo says Jet Li Fearless is amazing. Yeah, I loved Jet Li's Fearless. I thought that was his best film. Best film. Mr. Pazzo says, Stormy, do you remember the movie Samurai Cop? That was a funny one. Yeah, I remember that, There's one out there called Karate Cop, a.k.a. Slaughter in San Francisco, where it was Chuck Norris, right around that time that he was in Way of the Dragon with Bruce Lee. He made 2 films for Golden Harvest Studios. He made The Way of the Dragon with Bruce, and then he did this other film called Slaughter in San Francisco, also known as The Yellow-Faced Tiger, with Don Wong Tao playing in that. Chuck Norris is a bad guy in that movie, y'all. He's a gangster, and he's running San Francisco. He's a crime lord and all of this, man. He's raping women and stuff. It's like, dude, Chuck Norris does not include that film on his filmography, but I got it on Blu-ray. Let me tell you, he does not credit that film on his filmography, but it is definitely one to watch because that's the real Chuck Norris. Smoking cigars, kicking people's butt, man, putting cigars out in people's hands and stuff. Hey, yo, give him $2,000. It's like, I want you to work for me. He tells this guy, man, I'm telling you, listen, when you start talking about Kung Fu movies now, I'm going to go there. I know these films, bro, like the back of my hand. It's like, it ain't too many I ain't seen, Mac of the South says, Jean-Claude Van Damme called Steven Seagal out to fight at Sylvester Stallone party. He didn't want that smoke. Listen, man. Them dudes is old now. What they gonna fight for now anyway? It was like when they were young, they didn't want to fight each other. So being old, they ain't gonna want to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. Mr. Pazzo says it sounds like a Charles Bronson movie. Yeah, man, definitely of that ilk. But he was playing a bad guy in that movie, and Don Wong was playing the good guy, and it just Slaughter in San Francisco. Look it up, man. I'm telling you, it's hilarious, man. There's a scene in the movie where these guys on a motorcycle, they were chasing the black guy because Don Wong was playing a cop, a San Francisco cop, and he had a black partner, and the gang was after the black partner. There's a scene where they're fighting in the streets, right in the middle of the street, a regular city block or whatever in San Francisco. They fighting. And it's some Chinese dudes fighting the black guy. And, of course, the black guy trying to do karate, which is why I don't understand. It's like back then it was like black guys didn't really know that much karate. But anyway, he fighting the Chinese dudes, and he pretty much handling them some stuff, right? And there's this little short dude And he's in all the Kung Fu movies. I can't think of his name right now because I'm thinking about so many other things. But I just want to tell this funny story about this movie. The black guy punches him real good, and the dude goes back and he holds his face like this, like, and he reaches in his back and pulls out a gun and he shoots the black guy. But when he shoots him, when he holds the gun, you could tell, like in the Kung Fu films that he's used to making, they don't know how to use guns. So he pulls the gun out and holds it sideways like this and goes, pew, shoots the black guy, and the bullet like grazed his neck. And he went like, and he started running. Man, that was the funniest thing in my life, man, when I saw that. I was like, that dude right there, he shot him like, pew, and the bullet grazed his neck. Why y'all got me talking about these damn Kung Fu movies, man? I mean, it just had me cracking up. I was rolling. Salute to my man Brooklyn Born out there. He says, every Shaw Brothers movie was a classic. Almost every Shaw was a classic, man. DP Rocker says, unless it was Jim Kelly, Nicholas Levy says, one of the best Kung Fu movies I ever seen was Born Invincible. Well, man, you need to get out and see more Kung Fu films. Let me tell you. Born Invincible was okay. It was just moderate, but there are some real good ones out there, bro. Nicholas Levy says, Duel to the Death was good also. Yes, sir. That's one of the classics right there. Chi-Town's Finest is out there, says, peace and love, family. Can't chat right now, but I'm listening. Salute to you, Chi-Town. Chi-Town, stand up. DP Rocker is rolling. Hamza S is out there, says, salute Stormy B, man. I'm finally allowed to comment, but been watching the streams for a month or so. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, Hamza, man. Appreciate you. DP Rocker says, I'm sorry, Stormy. Laugh out loud. Mr. Pazzo is still laughing. And what else we got? Okay, everybody's saluting each other. Pool Counter Boxer says, none can beat Show Nuff. Hey, man. You remember when Sho'nuff put Bruce Leroy's brother in the garbage can in that pizza parlor? They put his little brother in the garbage can. He went in head first. Man. Oh, man, that is a classic, man. We did a focus on that movie, The Last Dragon. We're going to have to do another one, man, because it's like that movie is a classic. A straight-up classic, man. Straight-up classic. Mr. Pazzo says, Jet Li's fearless when he battling the guy with the sword in the rain. Yeah, man. Fearless was awesome. Nicholas Levy says, recommendation, please, Stormy. Shout out to the LDBC. Are you into anime, Stormy B? I'm very light on anime, very light, because Kung Fu has taken up so much, but I'm aware of anime, and I have respect for it as well. Let's see. Aaron Parker says, what about Jet Li, The Swordsman 2 and 3? Those were two of his, they were not so good, those films, The Swordsman. I mean, his films, Fong Sai-yuk 1 and 2 were much better than that. And of course, the Once Upon a Time in China trilogy, 4-film series, because he did Once Upon a Time in China and America, directed by Sammo Hung, a few years after the trilogy. But Jet Li's Once Upon a Time films where he was playing Wong Fei Hung are some of his early best work, and that's what shot him to stardom, actually. Mac of the South says, Shogun of Harlem. C99 says, Bruce Leroy beat him. DP Rocket says, who's the master? Nicholas Lever says, "Oh man, I forgot. I got the whole Shogun Assassin collection." Okay, that's cool. Mac of the South says they was talking smack to each other. Who can whip who? And okay, Hamza is talking to somebody else. DP Rocker says my favorite is the 5 Deadly Venoms. Yeah, the 5 Venoms, man. That's a classic. That's definitely a classic. It's not even one of their best, but it's a popular one. It's like people love the 5 Venoms for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So, but hey, man, nobody wants to call in. We got 65 likes out there, so people have been thumbing up the show. I appreciate that, but I would like some more calls if people want to call in and let's talk this boxing, man. I mean, after last night, there should be plenty to talk about. You guys should want to express your, disenchantment with what transpired. You know what I mean? Michael James 616 is out there, says, salute Stormy B-Man and family. Salute to you. And Mr. Pazor says, phone lines are open. Yes, they are. They are open. And remember, the outside the U.S. code is +1 or 001. When you've called from outside the U.S. before, that's how you can call and get this number. That's the U.S. code. And my man Laws D, shout out to him because he asked. And I told him I would look into that and find out what it was. And that's what I have for you. I don't know why I don't know why the alert for the super chats weren't working this morning. It worked last night. What the devil's going on? Gotta figure this out. Nicholas Levy says, what's the name of the Jet Li movie where he remade Bruce Lee's Chinese Connection, but was where he made, and that was one cold as hell. From what I heard, it was robbery. Fist of Legend is Bruce Lee's remake. Is Jet Li's remake of Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury. Fist of Legend. That's the name of the film. Let's see. Michael James 616 says, been listening, but was busy, couldn't comment. The Last Dragon is straight classic. Yes, it is, man. Straight classic. If you were old enough to have seen that film, even as a kid, it left a real impression, man. What a fun film that was. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got 678 in the building. Who am I speaking to?
Full kind of boxing. What's up, Stormy?
Pull and counter. Okay, what's going on, bro?
No, I was just thinking about the Earl Spence Jr. versus Mayweather's legacy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've been doing it for a while, ever since Manny made this comeback run when he beat Keith Thurman. And now he's about to fight Errol Spence Jr. You know, I just thought about it. I say, man, they really keep trying to take jabs at Mayweather and put Manny Pacquiao over, Mayweather. You know, even though Mayweather beat him, you know, they seem to be like really, trying to settle a score between the two. And I just wanted to notice if you noticed that too.
Well, of course, man. Listen, we are never good enough, great enough. We should never be where we are. We should be obliterated, not just from any one particular thing like a sport or anything, but this is how society views us in general principle. So at every waking turn that they have an opportunity, they will try to throw you down. But that's nothing to get angry about. What you do is you turn that salt into sugar by exploiting the ignorance that they have. I'll show you what I mean when I make this statement. Whenever one of them that they choose to try to heap adornment, achievement, greatness upon, who they compare the greatness to? Huh? When they were talking about Vasily Lomachenko being so great, what did Bob Arum say? He's the best I've seen since Ali.
Since Muhammad Ali.
When Tyson Fury got a victory over Deontay Wilder, what were they saying? Oh, he's the best since Ali. He could beat Ali. Huh?
Yeah.
But since they don't love us, why do they compare greatness to those of us?
Yeah, that's right.
Huh?
That's right.
Think about it.
Okay.
They don't say
you're right.
They don't say that Tyson Fury is the best since John L. Sullivan, huh? Which would be closer, to what's actual. Or James Corbett, or even Gene Tunney, huh?
Right.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
Vasily Lomachenko isn't compared to Willie Pep, is he?
Nope.
Or Barney Ross. Men who stood out in history that are now considered greats. But why do they take the comparison and put it against us?
Yeah, because they create that us against them.
Isn't that food for thought?
Yeah, well, they creating a division, us against them,
But if you want to imply what greatness is, it's always us.
Right.
Think about it. It's like they don't go and say their own, but they'll tell you don't belong.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
But I think it was like one of the MMA fighters supposed to have been fighting, supposed to do the combat fight with, maybe it was Manny Pacquiao, as a matter of fact, but he said, I can't think of the guy's name. He was an MMA fighter. He had just retired. And he was saying he didn't want to be like Floyd Mayweather. And he was like offered like $100 million to fight Manny Pacquiao. And he told me he thought about it and turned it down because he didn't want to be like Floyd Mayweather. And I was like, these people never quit, with the BS, you know what I'm saying? Like Floyd never was Pretty Boy Floyd, and they didn't see those fights. You know what I mean? And it's like they just tell half the story and propagandize everything. And it's just kind of like, dang, you think it's over, but it's never over.
Oh no,
For them.
it's never over, bro. It's never over. It never will be over because hate and despisement are in the soil of this country. It is in the soil because of the blood that's been shed. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it hasn't also been acknowledged by the oppressor, you see. So the soil is angry. The very soil where blood has been spilt, where bodies have been buried, where cities were razed, and where homes were leveled. And see, it has never been dealt with. It's never been, something brought to the light and say, hey, you know what? We want forgiveness. We want apology. We want, to correct.
Yeah.
And see, that's why this place, this land, has gone from first to last.
Yeah.
Seriously. At the end of the day,
I believe that.
At the end of the day, because you can't go along continuously doing these things and not have retribution, not have karma come into play. Every great civilization that has been recorded has had its time where it stood above others and then had a time of collapse.
Yeah, that's true.
You're witnessing it. You're witnessing it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying anything that many don't know. It's just that when you understand, the strangeness of it all, you're able to walk with a different set of eyes, and you hear with a different set of ears, and you should think with a discerned frame of mind. So, I'll leave it like that.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. It's kind of vast and everything, but it's just, man, Mayweather better stay retired, boy, because if they get another shot at him, if they get another shot, they're going to do it, whatever they can, illegal, whatever, to bring him down, because they hate his image. They hate that imagery of him dominating and his influence on boxing. But yeah, that's my call, man. I just wanted to, run that by you and see what you thought about it.
Great call, man. And let me say this about Mayweather. It would behoove him to learn from the pages of the OJ book on how to not use the wedge that they allow you to place between you and your people, because at the end of the day, you're a man on the island if you do operate that way. Mayweather is to be respected for what he accomplished in the ring, and there's still time for him to make some changes where he can be respected outside of the ring. But I don't know that that'll happen for him, because he became a person where the dollar became his god. That's very important.
Which which is why he should be celebrated, because this country, this country, is founded on, capitalism, slavery, and all that. And, of course, because of his color, you know what I'm saying, he won't get celebrated for making all that money. They actually hate him for making all that money. You see a black man, become a billionaire off of hate. You know what I'm saying? That's, I think, is an amazing thing about Mayweather, is that he made all his money because people hated him. And he turned something that was negative into a positive for himself. You know what I mean? Even though it had some other effects, the greed and the materialism.
No, man, let me tell you something. I'll stop you right there. Mm-hmm. What you're saying right now is, again, a misinterpretation of it all. Once you understand how the world operates, you're supposed to operate on a different level. Like I said, money became his God. The thing about money, finances, economics, there's a reason why it's called currency. It's supposed to flow, brother. It's not supposed to be stockpiled. It's not supposed to be coveted to the point where you hoard. It's supposed to flow from one point to another. That's why it was called that. Okay? And the more of it that you have, the more that you're capable of doing. But it's the choices that you make. And understand this. There are many people who want to stockpile money and things like that. But when you die, you can't take it with you.
Yep, that's true. Well,
and after you've made a certain amount, you've provided yourself a certain point of comfortability as far as your day-to-day life. So what becomes more important? More money?
Well, I'm not talking about the morality side of it. I'm talking about
morality always plays a role, brother.
Right,
morality.
Right.
Hold on. You're talking to the sensei, bro. Talk to the sensei.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm not
saying you are. I'm not saying you are.
Okay.
But when you said what you just said, morality does not play. It plays a role in everything. To have ethic, to have value.
Right.
Listen,
that's fine. But
do you remember when Floyd Mayweather was on that show for one of his fights, where it was the what do they call it? The 24/7 or whatever.
24/7.
And he was arguing with his dad.
Yeah.
And he cussed his dad out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's when.
Oh yeah.
That's when I stopped liking Floyd Mayweather. That's how long ago it's been.
Yeah.
Because even if that was done for ratings, for the promoting of the fight and all of that, you could not pay me to be as disrespectful to my dad as he was to his on that show. And there's no apologizing for that. There's no coming back and saying, hey, we just did it for this or that. If you did that, then that means you totally sold yourself out. And isn't that what I just said a moment ago when I said money became his God?
Yeah.
Do you see? There is no
amount.
There is no amount of anything of that you can make me put my dad in that way. Even if we didn't have the value lifestyle that people think is the American dream or whatever, that is not for you to know my story to that depth. It's for me to deal with that situation and make life better for not just mine and my own and going forward, but to at least set an example, because people will have their eyes on me. But that was when I stopped liking that man. And it didn't matter anymore as far as boxing or outside the ring, because that man who behaved like that outside the ring He's in the ring, but he's still the same man. There is no separation. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just, I'm not talking about, who he is as a person. I'm talking about like the system that he found himself in, like, the way he took control of his career and the way that he was able to, beat the system. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's a good person or anything. We all know that Floyd, you know what I'm saying? We know about his father, about him being in prison and how he treated his father and all this stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm trying to Yeah, we know about that, but what I was trying to get at was how he was able to leap over those hurdles, those financial hurdles, and money did become his god and everything. But it's just amazing that he made it that far, you know what I'm saying? With Bob Arum and, buying himself out of his contract and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was just like kind of amazing for a black man, coming from the hood, you know what I'm saying, to be able to even reach that level. And, I know he's a flawed dude and everything, a lot of us are. And he's mad disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, to his father and everything, you know what I mean? But I think that, it's just amazing what he was able to accomplish business-wise, just kind of showed, another wrinkle, for black people and stuff like that. And I just thought that that's why they hate him so much, is that he was able to, sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. He was able to beat the system and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and so that's my point I was trying to make, we all know Floyd, you know what I'm saying, outside the ring, probably ain't nobody you really want to mess with. Tyson can't stand him. Tyson think he was the guy who set him up with that girl up there. And, so it's a lot of stuff floating around Floyd that you may not like, you know what I'm saying? But, as far as business, you know what I'm saying, he was able to beat the odds, and a lot of people, not a lot of the white establishment don't like him because of that.
Was Floyd responsible for Robin Givens doing what she did to Mike Tyson? Was Floyd responsible?
So.
Was Floyd responsible for Mike Tyson shoving cocaine up his nose and everything when he was undisputed champion of the world? Was Floyd responsible for Mike Tyson and his downward spiral before the Buster Douglas thing, because that came even after so many other things were happening with him? But I point that out because we all have our cross to bear. Okay, we do. But as a mentor myself who has worked with guys in the gym, I've always told them the principles of what I share with you in here, the gym, are to be taken to root, because when you walk outside this gym, you can carry these very same principles and their values for the rest of your life.
Yep.
A man may conquer many things in life and have achievements, but the one thing that most men do not know that they should be working toward is conquering self. It's not external, it's internal.
Yeah.
And the sooner that a man recognizes that, he has found a tremendous thing to use as a weapon for success. That's called accountability.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Sounds good. When is the next Wise Men show?
Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, bro.
Gotcha. That's my call, Stormy. I'll be watching from the chat.
I appreciate you, man. And again,
Hey.
when we got the lines open, you can call anytime. Anytime.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
right.
man. Bye-bye.
My computer is lagging today. That's why it's taking so long to disconnect the call and pick the calls up and everything. But I appreciate that call from the brother Pull Counter, man. You guys can call in anytime, man, and I don't mind speaking, even when the subject may be a little off the base of boxing and what the show is. I don't have any problem with that. And if it's something that I don't know or have any sustainable response to, I'll point you in the direction of where you can get that. So appreciate that totally. Yeah. But I gave that example of Mike Tyson and the circumstances around his life because, remember, we all have something that we go through. Mike was going through his own share of problems. And for him to not like Floyd and Floyd not to like him or whatever, that really doesn't have, just like me not liking Floyd. It's like, but I know that there are certain ways that you can go about doing things in life and certain decisions. And even when you make bad decisions, take responsibility for that and try to be, don't continue to make them or correct them, And sometimes when you can repair something that has been damaged, do so. Don't just leave broken pieces lying on the floor for people to continue to walk over them and step on them and make more pieces. If you're able to put something back together, why not do so? If you're able to. King Corleone. Trying to get this call. Okay, 916. Go ahead with your call. Who am I speaking with? Welcome to the show. (916) I guess it didn't pick up fast enough there. You can call back, 916. Call back. Salute to Divine Sense out there in the chat, man. I see you out there. Let me go ahead and mod you up, bro. Divine Sense. Okay, 916, you out there. Go ahead with your call.
Oh, yeah, I called and then it hung up. But as you said earlier, you said you don't respect Floyd because...
First of all, can you tell me who you are? Welcome to the show. Can you tell me who you are, please?
Oh, my name's Ruger. I'm from Sacramento. But I was just the question I wanted to ask, do you think everyone deserves respect? Because if my father was to do the things that his father did, I don't think I would respect him either.
Brother, that's not what I said. Do not misinterpret the words that I spoke. I said when he was on the air on that show and he had that incident with his dad in front of cameras and everything, I said that's when I no longer liked him. Okay?
But why?
I didn't say that what his dad did was okay or why he was upset with his dad and all of that. It didn't have to be shown before the cameras. That did not have to take place publicly like that. And they aired it on a show and they got ratings off of that. Would you like your own personal dirty laundry to be aired? And let me tell you something.
No,
since that took place, we now have what's called reality TV, okay, where they like to go into people's homes and film you in your best and at your worst, okay? They do that now.
Yeah, I understand that part. But the difference is I actually respect my dad. I don't believe he respects his father. I don't feel like he should.
But what I said, sir, that it was not appropriate to put on the air. And that's Floyd's choice that it was put on the air. He didn't have to do that.
You're right. And I'm saying he doesn't care. And I don't feel like he should have to.
And that's why I do not care for him. Because of choices. Life is about choices, man. Remember,
exactly. And I feel like
I operate from a position of being someone who mentors and builds people up. I don't tear them down. And I'm not here to argue the point of Floyd being a good guy or a bad guy. I gave an example of why I don't necessarily care for him because of how he allowed economics, money, to be his God. And when you do that, it allows you to make those type of choices because there's no accountability. Now you think that someone owes you because you're economically capable of having your way.
I don't see how that has to do with accountability.
Well, then, you know, if you don't see how that has to, maybe if you allow yourself to study on something for a moment rather than just willingly speak off cuff, then you can embrace that. You can absorb it. But remember, there's a reason that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Even if you lost hearing in one ear, you could still hear in the other. If you lost the ability to speak, then you would have to write things down. And if you had to take the time to write things down, the brain has to work in order for you to express yourself on paper. A lot of times when people speak, they don't even allow the brain to work first. Words just come out the mouth.
That's impossible.
No, it's not impossible. Have you ever heard someone say something foolish? Have you ever heard someone say something foolish and then
that happens all the time.
Yeah, and then say, "Oh, you know, I don't know what I was thinking." So it's not impossible, is it?
No, it is impossible. What you're trying to explain is someone being ignorant. Did you
call here to purposely take the show in a negative direction? Answer the question,
no.
Yes or no.
See, the thing is, you're trying to control what I'm saying.
This is my show. What are you talking about, control? And the show has a platform of content where it is done a certain way.
I know the content, and I'm asking you a question on your content.
And I answered your question, but you did not find my answer to be appropriate to what you're thinking.
You did not answer my question. You did not answer my question. Do you remember what my question was?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, my question was, do you believe everyone deserves respect? Because me personally, I don't feel like Floyd's father deserves respect, which is why he did what he did, and he doesn't feel like there's a consequence for it. So do you feel like his father deserves respect? And because I'm pretty sure if you know the background, I'm not sure if you do, you would probably agree that his father doesn't really deserve respect.
There is nothing that would allow me to agree to what transpired on the air between them.
Okay.
Nothing.
Right, that's your morals.
You're absolutely right. And so if they differ from yours, guess what? That's my position, and whatever your position may be. So where's the respect in that?
I respect it.
No, you don't.
That's your answer.
Because you come on here challenging it. You're telling me I'm trying to control
I just wanted
things
to know.
when I actually gave the explanation already.
No, I was saying you're trying to control. What I say when you tell me to give an answer a certain way, you're trying to control my answer.
There is no way I can control your answer. The only thing I
Yes,
can try to
you can.
get
When you
to
tell me
is the
yes or
essence
no.
of where you're coming from. And I do believe, just as I suggested a moment ago, that you came on here for this. But you know what? I've been prepared for this, brother. Been prepared.
No, I just wanted to know your answer to the question. You answered it. And
You've got it already.
I guess. Well, that was it. That's all I wanted to know. So thank you.
You're welcome. Call again. When you go into a circumstance where you invite people to express themselves, you will find that you're not always in agreement. You will find that you're not always in agreement. Antoine Reed, no, that's not how we handle that, but I understand. I do. Hamza S says, I think Stormy is saying Floyd could have kept that off camera. That's absolutely what Stormy was saying. And I said that because he chose not to keep it off camera, that's why I felt at the end of the day that I don't like the guy. Because that's a tipping of the iceberg. And guess what? That iceberg became a glacier ever since that transpired. So much more about Floyd, his personality and everything has come to the forefront. You know? We got one more call. Who we got here? Okay, we got 718 in the building. What's going on with you? Go ahead with your call.
Hey, how you doing, Stormy? It's Brooklyn born.
Brooklyn born, what's good with you? How you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thank you. No, I'm just here listening, enjoying the show. I was enjoying the Kung Fu conversation before, and I was gonna call in with a question about boxing, but I was just enjoying the Kung Fu conversation.
Okay, go ahead. So what you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, it's good to have you all like the LDBC out there, after what happened last night with Fox, when things like that happen, you kind of feel like, you don't have a voice. So it's good to have, a platform like this that's actually speaking the truth,
Oh, absolutely, which is why I've encouraged anyone out there that is a content creator that they should actually do their part in speaking on this situation. What happened to Michael Fox is what's happening across the board in boxing as a whole. And many people are affected by it on a regular basis. But if we just sweep it off as just saying, well, that's boxing, that's how it goes. No, you need to hold people accountable. You hold people accountable by writing about it, by talking about it, airing shows like what we've had, like last night's post-fight show, and somewhat this show. I was hoping that we could get more calls on that subject, but it didn't happen for us that way. But I encourage others to produce content to talk about this, because that's the only way that we can get rid of this problem, by turning the heat up on it and shining the spotlight. Even the old media people will not do that. They won't hold these people accountable. as you heard me say, it might have sounded extreme, but it's not. I said that woman who had the scorecard of 117 to 110 should never be allowed to judge a fight again. How can you justify your scorecard in a match where you give the win to the man who lost all the damn rounds, plus was put on the ground? You tell me, how do you come up with that? As well as the other two judges who still had the wrong man winning. That's corrupt. That's total corruption. And we have to speak on that because there are other fighters who will be victimized by this. We know that. But when we start taking these names, holding them to task, make a laundry list of them and say, see these people's track record, this is what you can hold them to, and this is why we need to do what we need to do. Bring the fighters on our platforms, those who have been victimized by this. Have discussions. Let the people see how they feel about it, because you only see what's on TV. But these men go into gyms, they go into gyms and they spend times away from their families and children and everything, and they go out there and give their all in a sport where they can go in one way and come out not the same. And to have someone take your livelihood away from you, which is what they were doing last night. And the cheating started before the bell rang in the first round.
Correct. It was funny to me because Joe Goosen, he was like, oh, when the gloves are loose like that at the wrist, it could pull the padding back and expose the knuckles. So I'm like, that's really funny because for, what is it, like 2 years now, almost 2 years, we've been hearing that Deontay Wilder is crazy. He's making up excuses. Cheating doesn't happen. And people try to mimic the glove and say, oh, this is uncomfortable and it's not an advantage. But you have an accomplished trainer saying that it is. So I just found that really funny.
Well, see, that's why we say that people like Joe Goosen, who's on TV, and Teddy Atlas, who used to be on TV, but is now on the air like we are, don't listen to them because they know and they still won't tell the truth. So when you get people like myself and you got Blue Blood Sports TV, you got Fred from Barbershop Conversation, you got 78 Sports, you got so many other people out here that can provide you not only the proof of things, but can bring people on their platform to discuss it and be even more revealing. Old media has had its time. It's now our time because we're going to bring it unadulterated truth and sincerity. And that's why we have to do it this way. These people, remember, this is like some type of, I want to call it a group, okay, for lack of being more revealing. But the way that this is institutionalized, you have to play a certain game to be a part of things. And when they don't, when they don't want you to be a part of things, they make sure that they set up certain roadblocks and gates and detours to keep you on the outside, which is why you know that the third fight between Wilder and Fury hasn't taken place yet, because they don't really want Wilder there. They want everything or anything but that. They didn't even want to discuss the fact that they were in arbitration to force the third fight because Fury was trying to avoid it. They don't even want to acknowledge the fact that Fury cheated. And he was cheating far before he got to Wilder. They don't even want to acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge that the man doesn't even have a boxing license in his country. But they're talking about he and Joshua. Are you kidding me? The biggest fight in UK history, but it can't be held in the UK? Who are you fooling? You see what I'm saying? So when we're talking about these things, yes, I have a platform. I'm going to speak the truth. there are other brothers out here who are doing the same, but I encourage for even those who are doing lesser good to get out there and talk about what you should be talking about. Because you can make a change, you can make a difference. But there's some kind of responsibility and, again, accountability, a word I used with the last caller.
Mm-hmm.
Being accountable means a lot. But we live in a time where ethics are being dialed back. And if you're a part of the new generation, you don't understand these things. Because it ain't nobody teaching a damn thing.
And you bring up a good point. It's like, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and this I'm going to go, but you bring up a good point where you talk about morals is going away because, like one of the previous callers stated how Mayweather was able to beat their financial system. Here you have Deontay Wilder, who's outspoken and like exposing the behind the scenes stuff, right? And what you're saying is true because now if they allow a person like Wilder to be successful, now that's the full package. You got the financial side set up good, and now you're speaking the truth, and they don't want that.
Exactly. And he is a person who would make a damn quality leader, an example to set for others to be motivated and inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather have women looking up to Kim Kardashian, okay, than to be looking up to someone like Nina Simone or something. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This is like,
Correct.
Are you kidding me? But this is our society. And again, youth is wasted on the young, as has always been said. And it also has been said it takes a village to raise a child. But who's raising these individuals up today? Because they roam the streets and they kill at will. They have no knowledge of anything because they're not educated. They don't go to school, okay? But they know when they get a feeling beneath their waist, they can go out there and do things that'll actually bring another life into this world.
Mm-hmm.
What do they have to pass on to that new life?
True.
Do you see how if you don't break this vicious cycle, it's a serious path to destruction? Your own.
Yeah.
So when you have someone like a Deontay Wilder who could be there, the epitome of the sport of man against man,
Mm-hmm.
and he walks with a positive light and he has a positive energy and he has the sensibility to be with the people with that energy, that kinetic energy that everybody don't have. No, they don't want that.
Nope.
They want people to be divided and strifeful and backbiting and vicious toward each other and all of that because they can keep the system going like it does, because that way they benefit and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You just become another log on their fire.
Very true. But Stormy, I'm gonna go. I appreciate everything that you and LDBC do. Shout out to you. Keep doing what you do, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your call, brother, and don't be a stranger. Please call in again.
All right.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir. I think that'll be the last call for today. Oh, we got one more. We got 916. Go ahead with your call. Who's calling?
This is Ray Sean, man, from Sacramento. Ray Sean Hudson. I'm in the comment section right now, man. I told you I was going to call in.
Uh-huh.
How you doing, man?
Good. What's happening?
It was an honor to get to meet you finally. I've been listening to you a lot. I got introduced to you by G Tiger. You know, I was on his page and told everybody to follow you. But I wanted to elaborate on more what I was talking about just cheating with Tyson Fury, because the reality of it is it's obvious he cheated. But what I want everybody to really dial on him a little bit more specifically, because what I see when I watch it, I train my son myself. He palm striking Wilder. I don't even think that it's really like a glove gate thing anymore. He's figured out a way to purposely palm strike you. And like, if you look up statistics, just look up YouTube videos, palm strike versus punch. Palm strikes are harder than punches, y'all. Especially when you hit somebody with that part of the wrist that he hits him with. I've watched this fight so many times. The first little leaping left hook, palm strike straight to his nose, and then this next shot behind his head. And everybody sits here and acts like they don't see what just happened. It really pissed me off. I had to kick a friend out the house the other day because I haven't seen him in years. It's my old roommate. He tells me, well, I'm tired of this Wilder guy. He don't know I'm a Wilder fan, though. You know, I just let people talk for a little bit. You listen to the nonsense that they spitting out. He's regurgitating all the same lines from ESPN. So I had to calm down before I kick him out and realize he's not educated, like you just were saying. This guy follows ESPN and believes everything they say. He got a big mouth, they say, about Wilder. I'm looking at, man, my whole house is Wilder. I'm looking at this man, letting him talk, like, before we go in on him, because he's just unaware.
Right.
He says, when I say to him, well, you know, that was an illegal blow, he says, well, the referee didn't call it. And I think to myself, what is wrong with y'all brains? The referee didn't call it. Like, that makes it okay. Obviously, like, people act like it's impossible for everybody to be boxed. This is another thing. Well, they checked the gloves before he went to the ring. I don't even think it's about the gloves anymore. I'm telling you guys, Tyson Fury has figured out how to palm strike with the tip at the end of his palm, which is also wrapped. So people can sit there and say, well, that hurts. Oh, you wrap your hands right there, don't we? Your hands are wrapped. You're hitting him with the inside of the glove, which is a solid bone right there. And he almost killed Wilder. It pisses me off when I hear people sit there and say shit like, well, the ref didn't call. He could have killed that man with that palm strike to the nose. My kids go to karate. We practice palm strikes to the nose to take you out the game. That's a deadly move.
Listen.
And that's some bullshit. I'm sorry, like, excuse my language, but that's some bullshit that everybody sits here and doesn't understand the severity of what he did.
Listen, that is true, but also know that it's a combination. It's the palm strike, but it's also he using his fist at the base palm portion of the glove. The fist is not all the time. The fist is not all at all times in the glove fully. There are times when it's being slid down and times when he puts it in there. There are moments when you'll see him in the midst of the action where he steps back and pushes his gloves together. Okay? And that's when he's putting the fist back in there. You see? But what you're saying about palm strikes, that's true. It's evident. You can see it on the film. But what we're also privy to is the man has a history of cheating way before he got to Wilder.
Yep.
And see, that's the thing that I got a problem with about the new media. They don't want to talk about the obvious, that this man has a questionable checkered past. And listen, if it were Wilder, if it was the shoe on the other foot, they would dig everything. If he put gum on the chewing gum on the blackboard when he was in 8th grade, they would put that in there too. You understand? Look at how they treated Sergey Kovalev, who assaulted a woman, went to her home, beat up her dog. Okay? These are things, and they still let him fight. They didn't bring it in the news. His promoter swept the information off of the dockets of being discussed at all, and that's okay. But they took Shakur Stevenson's mugshot photo from when he got arrested from that street fight, and they put it on BoxRec. You see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying. And it's like I kind of like I'm a real boxing fan. I watch a lot of boxing. I look back at the Tyson Fury thing, and I really feel bad for Steve Cunningham when he fought, because to be honest with you, he should have never even made it to this point after that fucking Steve Cunningham fight. If you watch that fight, we should have all watched that one more closely and did what we're doing now back then, and Tyson Fury wouldn't even made it to this point, because that right there was when I really realized he was a dirty fighter. I realized it before he got to Wilder, because did you see the Steve Cunningham fight, by the way?
Of course I did.
So you know what I'm talking about. That
Eddie Cotton,
right there,
former referee Eddie Cotton, R.I.P. to Eddie
God.
Cotton, who passed away. He said that Tyson Fury is the dirtiest fighter that
dirtiest
he's ever
fighter.
seen. And he's had Andrew Galata twice in fights. And he said that because he reffed the Steve Cunningham Tyson Fury fight. He was there.
Exactly. And Nassim called it too. Nassim kept saying he's really big and just doing nothing but leaning on him. Nassim Richardson, he knew exactly what it was. He's like, this guy can't fight. He just leans on you and gets you tired. And he did that bluntly to Steve Cunningham, pushes him by the head, holds his head up for the final strike, and like everybody just keeps acting like they don't see Tyson Fury's dirty moves. It's like it's like what Wilder said. We see no evil, say nothing, you know. And it's like, that's really not cool. And I'm not like, as a black man, it's like I get really offended when I listen to other black people regurgitate this bullshit. It's just like, are you guys not understanding? At this point, it starts to. I don't want to make everything about race, but you can't ignore it at this point. And if you on that opposite side and sitting here thinking that he wasn't cheating, then you really need to examine yourself. And you just tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going a little bit too far, but like I really look at it that deep. Like, what's wrong with you? You don't recognize that your brother was just cheated? Like, for real, you don't even want to acknowledge it or look into it and just say, oh, no, he talks too much. If you got that point of view of Wilder, man, something wrong with you.
Right.
You're not realizing who he's for, you know? And you on Tyson Fury, like, man, that dude don't care about you. He don't care about nobody. And, oh, my gosh, the pull-out. Like, people still make excuses for this whole COVID thing. Like, come on, y'all. People don't want to recognize this man is scared. Like you said, they denied arbitration. They denied everything, and now this man terrified Wilder. I see he's terrified, man. And it's like, it ain't even that big of a deal, man. Just go in there and get hit and lay down. We all know that's what's going to happen. I got a feeling he's going to do a Sonny Liston moment. He's going to lay down. It's going to be a phantom punch. He's going to lay down.
No, he's just not going to allow himself to be in that position. He's going to end up at the 11th hour pulling out again, or maybe not as close to the fight this time. And he's just going to accept the judge's ruling, saying that, okay, if you don't fight this guy by a certain date, you got to be up out of there. And he's probably going to opt for that and think he can lay low and come back at a later time.
2 years later. 2 years later, huh?
But this is the thing, and we don't know this, but I'm willing to believe that not only has that arbitrator given that type of ruling for how to handle him not giving Wilder his third fight, but in the event that he does opt to do something like that and not go through with the fight, there should be some type of penance. He should either be tremendously fined, or his license will be revoked here in the U.S., or a combination of things with a fine and everything, and that even a civil suit can be pushed forward because the damages that were incurred. See, nobody talks about that because Wilder suffered damage from that fight.
Exactly.
He's got that permanent indentation in the side of his face, and that came from something that was not a fist. Okay? Even the doctors that examined him, they said that that was not consistent with injuries sustained in boxing. And we've had boxers fight for hundreds of years, and nobody came out with an indentation in the side of their face like that.
I'm telling you, it's those damn palm strikes. I watched this a lot, man. And like you were describing it, he does do both. But it's like there's a point where he just opens his hand flat, like he's going for a slap.
Of course, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the video, bro.
With the wrist, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So people look at it like, oh, it's a slapping shot. Nah, man, he's trying to hit this man with his wrist as hard as he can. Them type of shots hurt more than the other shots. And it's so sad, man. Wilder has probably one of the greatest gyms in boxing, bro, and he's never going to get the credit he needs for it because, bro, the way they thought that was all supposed to play out, they thought Wilder was going to lay down really quickly, man. And he showed his heart, man. Yeah. That man is really truly a king, man. Like, the way, like you're going to have to really take this man out of the game. Like, I can't wait to see it, man, if it happens. But, like, I am, like really 100% behind you. I think he's going to find a way out of it. He did the same thing to Klitschko. He's showing us that he don't like giving people rematch. He like you said, if he's uncomfortable and he feels like he can't win, he ain't gonna fight.
Right.
Well, that's a damn shame, though, because like you said, I'm getting mad just thinking about it, but I need to see my image. You know what I mean? We need to see that image. I need to see you on the ground, bro. Yeah. You got to get that.
And I'll tell you something else. You can put that energy in effect by writing the sanctioning bodies, you know, the WBC in particular in this instance, and express your concerns and your disappointment in the fact that this man has been allowed to do that. Believe me, when they hear from us, not just on these platforms, but they have to hear from you as well. And you write, I'm telling you, documentation beats conversation any day. You put that stuff in writing, and they see that one email or two, they could discard it. But when people start flooding, and then you get hundreds of them coming in saying, hey, we don't like the fact that you're allowing this cheater to get away with XYZ, blah, blah, blah. The sanctioning bodies have to take note. Because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that are buying the events, paying for tickets, and things of that nature.
Yeah, boxing's always been a game like that.
Why do you think that Showtime took Paulie Malignaggi off the air? It was because people had started voicing and expressing, like, you know what, to hell with this, get this guy out of here, man, or I'm canceling my subscription, forget this. Yeah. And guess what? Them people looked at that and they say, Paulie, you're like a flea on a lion's buttocks, okay? Get out of here.
And I remember I was listening to 78 said they probably tried to tell Paulie to apologize, and he didn't want to do it. Like, that just lets you know how serious it is to him. Like, he really feels this way.
There you go.
Paulie
absolutely
letting us know, like he showed his character right there, and they probably were. I'm sure Showtime approached him, asked him to apologize first, and when they realized he wasn't going to apologize, that's when they have to recognize the type of character that he is.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
But I'm going to go ahead and let you get the other callers, man. I'm about to get ready to start making these kids some food and stuff. But you have a good day, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling again. What'd you say your name was one more time?
All right, man. Rayshawn Hudson.
Rayshawn? Okay. Welcome to the show, man. And, don't be a stranger, okay?
All right, man. Nice meeting you, man.
All right. Peace to you. That was a great call. Appreciate the brother calling in there. I am trying to... Oh, we got one more here. 210, what's good with you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, salute to you, Stormybman, man. This is Javette Carrillo.
Javette.
Yes, sir. I'll be in the
so that's how you shout out. That's how you pronounce. I was hoping I learn how to pronounce your name, Javette. Okay.
Well, I'm Javette. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. What's going on with you, bro? Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you all the time and giving me the platform to express myself, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
No, I just want to pick up. The brother, the last caller, he was pretty much on point, man. Because I got a friend. It's a boxing fan, but he's a little corrupted. Let me explain to you, man. He's a Tyson Fury fan, and I keep showing him the gloves and all of that, and he's like, man, he's just a typical troll. Oh, he smashed the Deontay Wilder. You just crying. people that refuse to see the evidence and all of that.
Yeah.
And let me remind you, as far as put that on pause real quick. As far as that self-hating stuff, because the last caller, that brother K. Shaw, he said that he hates to see all the black people, going at each other. Well, it should hurt you, because if people recall, Luis Resto, he is Puerto Rican, and and I was telling my friend, the boxing fan I was talking about, man, you're the type of people that will support Luis Resto, man. You're the type of motherfucker. You will support Luis Resto. If it wasn't for the other trainer that grabbed his glove, that you would have passed with green, flying colors. He didn't even know what to say.
Right.
But another thing that I was going to tell you, man, I'm glad that Deontay Wilder didn't say anything on the press conference, because he's a conscious brother, just like we are. The new media, the LDBC, they doing it correct, because now old media, they act like children. Deontay Wilder doesn't want to say anything to us. Well, we're gonna make some bullshit up about him. Well, they feel in some type of way, because if they want to hear something about Deontay Wilder, they gotta click on 78. If they want to hear something about Devin Haney's father, Bill Haney, or something, they gotta click on Rocky. That makes them feel some type of way. So that shows you something. That shows you that if we put bullshit aside and unite and do something, we can change the game.
Absolutely.
You are changing the game. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Look here, I got an example of what you're talking about right now. You see this shirt? I don't know if you can look at your screen. You see this shirt I got on? This says, inside, if you feel me, press 1. That's right. That's support right there, right? Now, the brother Champ side, he covers far more than boxing, but he covers boxing pretty well. And the thing about it is, when someone is able to hit the notes properly, there's nothing wrong with supporting that and showing an allegiance and falling in line to say, hey, this is the direction that you need to take something. It's not about dissension. It's not about being divided. It's about being able to be a cohesive unit, because everybody has their own way of doing things. Just like I have my way, people have their way, but that doesn't make one better than the other or whatever. It's just they're different. People are different. And variety is the spice of life. You can go out there as long as you have the proper message and you're carrying it in the proper manner, dude, you can accomplish great deeds. Okay? And so if these people from old media don't want to respect our fighters and don't want to respect what we do, hey, let them keep being who they are and what they do, and watch us ascend to higher heights. You understand? That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
The game is forever changed.
Yeah.
Forever changed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a shame that they want to be represented by that. Because, my friend, he's in the military. I'm not going to say his name, obvious reasons. And I said, listen, man, even if you're a hardcore American, right? Tyson Fury is not even American. He even talks like he's the Hulk. He even talks like he's the Hulk. His Bruce Banner when he's human and he's very intelligent, and he turns to the Hulk and he's all brawn and like 5% intelligent, and all he can say is smash. Literally, he actually says smash Wilder. The Hulk smash. Like, he brought all that corruption that we already have corruption, but he brought more of it over here, and then he usurped. He's one of those people that usurp all these people things. For example, like, you ever seen those or have people around you that they want what you have and they want to take it, but without doing the work that you put in to get it?
Absolutely.
That's exactly what they do. Like Lomachenko, you know what I mean? Oh, he's the new Mayweather. He's untouchable. They were trying to erase the loss he had. They actually did and put it on ESPN while they were interviewing Crawford.
Yep. Absolutely.
That wasn't an accident. They were interviewing Crawford that they themselves saying is the candidate for the powerful pound in the whole world. And while they interviewing him, they're putting a picture of Lomachenko saying that he had 0 losses. Because they trying to usurp him on his face. Because listen, the best way to hide something from people is right on their face. Absolutely. It's called subliminal.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You're preaching to the choir here, man. I agree.
It's just ridiculous. It just Tyson Fury represents what America, it's a shame, man. So that's why they want to let the cheating go. They want to put things on the wraps, and when things are really popping out, thanks to new media, thanks to y'all. Let's keep that. Let's say that really loud. Then they have no other option but start making all the bullshit up, like Bob Arum. Well, he was vaccinated, but he was missing the other part. And I went visit him when he was sick, and he don't look that sick. Okay, so let me pause you there, Bob Arum. You telling me a man that had a Delta strain, you went to visit him? A 90-some-year-old man went to visit a COVID patient? What?
Yeah.
Those are things that are easily detectable when you're conscious.
Do you see how foolish they sound and what they're trying to pass on?
It's just ridiculous. Yes.
And
it just
and
doesn't make any sense, man.
Old media not calling them out one iota on any of this.
Or nothing. If it wasn't for new media, man, this man would have been the new Rocky, the new Great White Hope. You know what I mean? And I hate that term. They even proud of saying that. So let me tell you something. This is your Great White Hope. So this is my question. Why are you so hopeless?
Hey, man, that's a mic drop moment right there. Look here, brother. I'm going to have to get on out of here because I've been on a little bit longer than what my show usually runs. But I thank you for your call.
Brother.
No, it's okay. I thank you for your call, but I need you to call back in, okay? I need you to call back in.
Oh, no doubt.
Don't let this be the last time that Stormy B, man, hear you on the channel, man. You got a good voice there, and I appreciate you, man.
Oh, no doubt. You always got my support, brother.
All right. Appreciate that, brother.
All right.
Peace to you.
Peace.
All right. Man, that was a great call there from my man, Jahav Carrillo. Man, we appreciate that. But we went a little bit longer than we were going to go. But you know what? We got great calls there at the end. So, and that's why I opened the lines up earlier, because I wanted people to call. So I guess people called when they were available to do so. But this was a great show, man. It ended up great calls. And I appreciate everybody that called out there, for the super chats that came in, for the new subscribers who were here, those who came in a little bit late. I see my man, the Jab Jamboree is out there. I see you out there, Ack. I appreciate everybody, man. Hit that like button on your way out. But that's about it for today, man. Stormy got to go and get something to eat now. I, didn't have breakfast today, so I'm running into a late lunch now. But I'm going to get on out of here. Peace to everybody. Don't forget, for you content creators out there, talk about this Fox and Mastery fight, that decision with the judges and everything. We all have a voice out here. Ack Reacher, my man, I know you got the night court. Man, you got to bring them people into the courtroom, man, because justice must be served for Michael Fox and what he went through. I appreciate everybody that tuned in today for Answering the Bell with Stormy B, man. There's another great episode here, episode number 4. And we'll be back next weekend with another one. Catch you guys on the next show. Peace to everybody. And everybody, please remain safe. Take care of your family. Peace.